Hey, what's up guys? Chris here, and today I'm going to bring you guys your WWE Raw review for the show from August 29th, 2016. Holy fucking shit. That's, wow. I just literally finished the show. It was fucking crazy. So, what we're going to talk about, who became the Universal Champion? Who walked out with the belt? Were there any twists or turns? Did the WWE give you the middle fucking finger, or did they actually, nod their heads and give the crowd, give the fans, what they want, something that they wanted, something different, or did they give you the middle finger? We're going to talk about that. How was the show overall? Was it a good show? Did it fucking suck? All of that good stuff. So, let's go ahead. Let's get into this show. It opens up with Balor getting the title and everything a week ago, 8 days ago or something like that. And they highlight all that, and him having to vacate the title because of the injury, and that sucks. It really does. But we get into the show. We get a tribute to Mr. Fuji, in memory of. He did pass away. Thoughts and prayers to the family and all of that. It's tragic. It sucks. But I'm going to go ahead. And now we get into the show. It starts off with sort of like a panel type deal they got going on. They got the four guys in the main event, basically, okay? So they're all sitting there in the ring. And Corey Graves is sort of like the host of this little thing. And Seth Rollins talks about how he injured Finn Balor. Somewhere Bret Hart, threw, his fucking remote through his TV. And that, Seth's the reason Finn had to have the surgery. He's the reason they are all in the situation they are right now. And he was like, I'm going to go ahead and give my my talking time to somebody who needs it to help elevate them. And he hands over the rest of his talking time to Kevin Owens. And Kevin Owens was sarcastically thanking Seth Rollins and that how he watches Corey Graves' show on the network. It helps him really go to sleep at night. Started laughing. I was like, this dude's on his troll shit. It's awesome. And he was like, what do you expect from me, Corey? Do you want us to all just sit here and, sing Kumbaya and, hold hands and all that shit? Or basically end up fighting or something like that. But Kevin Owens talks about tonight, how he's going to win the match and everything. We get a huge Fight Owens fight chant. He talks about now Sammy's out of the picture, and Seth Rollins was like, hey guys, I did that. I did all of that. And then Kevin Owens mentioned something about Roman Reigns. The crowd booed the ever-living shit out of him, and Kevin Owens was just, like, smirking and laughing at him like, dude, you fucking suck. And then he talks about, he goes over to Big Cass, and him and Cass go back and forth, and Kevin was like, Enzo, I didn't really think you knew how to say anything. Usually, Enzo's, pulling your strings and stuff, and you just talk. And then Cass said something like, Owens, did you write that all by yourself? Or was it Chris Jericho who wrote it while you guys were out shopping for scarves or something? Like, whatever. He said something that really didn't make a whole lot of sense. And Kevin Owens, it felt like it was just totally off script because he just looked over at Cass and was like, that's not funny. In the most serious way. And it was the best way to, like, kill Big Cass's, dumb joke that he tried to make or something. But then Seth Rollins talks about how, they're all irrelevant. He's going to be the guy to win the match. He talks about how he's going to shove, Big Cass's words down his, stupid dumb throat or something. And then he was going to send, beat Kevin Owens and send him over to Bon Jovi, Jericho, or whatever he said. And then he looks at Roman and he's like, bro, there's only 3 things guaranteed in life. Then it's death, taxes, and Seth Rollins beats Roman Reigns every single time. And he was like, what the hell do you have to say to that? And Corey Graves was like, yeah, Roman, what are you going to respond to that? And this dude who sat there with the most blank expression the entire time, his charisma, his facial expressions suck. Everything about him fucking sucks. I don't like watching him in the ring. I don't like listening to him on the mic. Everything about this guy I despise as a character on TV. And what does this Jamoke do? He gets up and he just starts fighting everybody, and we get this brawl, and then Roman and Cass end up staring down, and by God, did Cass make Roman look small in that encounter. But all in all, Roman ends up being the last guy standing. Yeah, of course, we got, a talking promo to start off Raw. This one happened to be enjoyable. I'll say that, guys. This one actually was kind of exciting. In terms of, there were some comments and some remarks these guys made toward each other that I laughed at. It was one of the better ones that we've had. So I also have to address something about, Big Cass being in this match, the odd man out. I just, thinking and stuff, it just feels like he's in this match, like it seems like they're kind of foreshadowing him being, giving him a taste of the main event or something, that they eventually have plans to really roll with this guy. It seems like that Vince really likes Big Cass. I have to point that out. If people were just, why was Big Cass in the match? He's like fucking 3 months on the roster or something like that. He doesn't deserve to be here. It's probably because Vince has big plans for him. I don't really see the potential in Big Cass, to be honest. He's not that good of a worker. We already know he can't talk. He's got Enzo as his mouthpiece. So, yeah, I don't think he's that good in the ring. I think there are better options. Maybe they slide him into that Big Show role. Hopefully they don't shove him down our throats. That's the one thing I'll say about that. But so I wanted to kind of address that, get my thoughts out there on that. So up next we get our first match of the evening, Jericho versus Neville. Going into this, I was like, Neville's got to win. Neville's got to go. I mean, fucking dude, I love watching Neville. I want to see him, get a meaningful, prominent role on TV. I want to, hopefully when they bring the cruiserweights out, hopefully Neville's one of the champions. I'd love to see that. I was also thinking they just had Jericho job out to Roman Reigns. He's probably going to pick up a W. Those are my pre-match notes. But going into this, Jericho bailed early on in the match, started heckling at the crowd a little bit. Neville ends up hitting a top rope cross body to Jericho in the ring after they get back in. Neville's standing shooting star press in the ring I liked. Neville's sliding apron kick to Jericho. And then Neville's springboard moonsault to Jericho onto the floor. Awesome stuff. I liked Neville's top rope drop kick. And then Neville goes for his delayed German suplex. Jericho ends up reversing up into a roll up. And then he goes for the code breaker. Neville catches him, throws him, and then catches him with the super kick. And then Neville goes for the red arrow. Jericho moves. Neville lands on his feet, rolls through. Runs across the ring, goes for the Hurricanrana, and then Jericho catches him and counters it into the Lion Tamer for the submission win. So, not crazy about Jericho going over. I don't know where they're really going with Jericho from here. It was rumored that him, Owens, and Balor were all going to be involved in the main event picture. Of course, Balor got hurt. That's probably going to change some things up. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I'd like to... At least he got the win with the Lion Tamer. Neville was on his neck and tapped out. So, that's fine, If it was his weak ass, when he locks in the weak ass Walls of Jericho where he's, sitting on their butt, I hate that. It looks sloppy as hell. I think he's lazy when he does that. When he throws in the Lion Tamer, it looks so much fucking better. It looks like it, you would actually tap out to that. So up next, we get Nia Jax versus a random jobber. She hits a nice clothesline, some shoulders in the corner, and fucks up her finisher. She didn't really get, whoever it was, she didn't really get her all the way over and then hit the World's Strongest Slam, when she had her on her shoulders. She kind of threw her up, and then they kind of just fell. So she kind of fucked up her finisher. Nia Jax wins, of course. She's sloppy. I hate watching her in the ring. I don't think she should really be here right now. I talked about this before, the fact that they try and present her as this demonstrative heel, and she doesn't really hit demonstrative moves. She doesn't really hit dominating, powerful impact moves. I can't buy into it, and then for that reason alone, I despise it. So after this, we get Sami Zayn versus Jinder Mahal, and I was thinking, well, this is Sami Zayn's chance to finally get a win, in the first time since beating Kevin Owens a month ago, or 2 months ago, or something like that. So Sami and Jinder, them trading, control over each other's arms, their counters and stuff to start off the matchup. That was That was all right. It was a mix between good and all right, but it was okay. So Sami's his reverse springboard vertical over Jinder, he did it off the bottom rope instead of the middle rope. So playing up on the injured ankle psychology. That's smart. That's good wrestling. And then Sami's heel kick when he comes off of that, I liked. Sami's chops to Jinder Mahal. Sami's exploding clothesline to Jinder Mahal. Where he usually lays in that one really good stiff clothesline in the match when he's building up his comeback. Sami's exploder into the corner, and then his haluva kick for the pin and the win. So Sami getting the W, good stuff. I like it. Then we get the lowest point of the show. The New Day with Bayley versus Carl Anderson, Doc Gallows, and Dana Brooke. It was 6-on-6, so I forget who was on the outside. Fucking Xavier, I think. I don't know. I don't care. Dana and Bayley started off the match. Not really a whole lot there. They just traded offense into the corners and stuff. Carl's springboard off the bottom rope, and then he laid in a kick to Big E when he was in the corner. The New Day's unicorn stomps looked like fucking garbage. Dana took a really bad bump from Bayley's drop kick. It looked like shit. We get a commercial. Carl spinebuster to Kofi. Gallows drop kick to Kofi in the Tree of Woe. And then Bayley got the hot tag. Gallows hit a nice big kick to Big E on the floor. Kofi did that retarded backwards plancha dive onto Gallows, and he landed on his shoulder this time. Gallows kind of just, I don't know, didn't fucking decide to catch him, like a baseball in the air, but yeah, when he was falling down, he let Kofi fall on his shoulder. Kofi's going to fuck himself up doing that. I think that's one of the dumbest things you could do. You guys have heard me rant about that. It's fucking dumb. But then in the ring, Bayley hit the belly to Bayley, or the Bayley to belly for the pin and the win. So the New Day and Bayley win. I wasn't really happy about that. Can't always get what you want, though, but yeah, I'm not really crazy about Bayley and the New Day. We get a Big Cass video package, and they were showing these throughout the night. Big Cass won, they threw a Kevin Owens one throughout there. Roman Reigns won, and I don't know if they did a Seth Rollins one. I feel like they should have, but I missed it. I didn't see it. I was also skimming through, I watched every individual match, and once the match ended, I would fast forward, get to the next match. So here are a couple backstage segments here and there I missed. We all know that's time filler. Let's be honest. We all know it's time filler. So after this, we get Sheamus versus Cesaro. This was the second match in the best of 7 series. So I like Cesaro's quick roll up, going for the early covers. His Warrior's Way. Cesaro's uppercut when they were on the floor on the outside of the ring. Cesaro working over Sheamus's left elbow. They were playing up when Sheamus took a bump on the apron and that he injured his elbow before they went to the floor. I should have pointed that out. But in the ring, Cesaro's drop kick. Cesaro's clothesline sending Sheamus over the top rope. We get a commercial. We come back. Sheamus going for the cloverleaf. He's in control now. Cesaro kicks Sheamus to escape it, and then Cesaro rolls up Sheamus. Kick out off of the ropes. He hits his corkscrew uppercut, his springboard corkscrew uppercut. Cesaro's top rope cross body was awesome. Sheamus ended up rolling through though into a pin. Cesaro ends up uppercutting Sheamus into the corner. Sheamus goes to roll up Cesaro after that, and then he uses the rope as leverage. The ref catches him. They argue for a bit, and then Cesaro ends up uppercutting Sheamus again, and then doing the running corner-to-corner uppercuts. Cesaro sets up Sheamus on the top rope, drop kicks Sheamus out of the ring, and then Cesaro rolls out the ring and goes for his usual, running uppercut. But Sheamus ends up backdropping Cesaro into the ring post. Nasty fucking bump. He flipped over and took the fucking ring post on his back. It was nasty. And then in the ring, Sheamus locks in the cloverleaf and Cesaro taps immediately. So Sheamus going up 2-0. So it seems like now we're going to start the build where Cesaro comes back from behind. I would imagine starting in the third match. I would be weird if they had Sheamus win 3 straight and then Cesaro win either 3 or 4 straight. Because I feel like this should go 7. This should go 7. You would think ideally. First time they're doing this, I'm cool with it going 7 matches, And then do it in a month or so after it ends with 2 other random guys, and have it go like 5 or 6 matches. I think that'd be pretty cool. I think they should do more of these best of 7s with some of the mid-carders that aren't involved in championship pictures, And then if you win, your best of 7, you should move on to maybe face the US champ, or something like that. So I like that. I think they should do more of something like this. I like it. It just gives it more of a sports feel. The matches should end up mattering. And that all comes on how they get booked afterwards. If Sheamus walks out of this, the winner, and he doesn't even get a title match or something, you know what I mean? It would be dumb. So, whoever wins should definitely get, somewhat of a title shot. They should get rewarded for winning. Ideally, the point to all this is to win to get title matches, championships. So, but after this, we get Braun Strowman versus another jobber. He hits a pop-up slam or something dumb for the pin in the... Braun Strowman went over. It was dumb. It was boring. Moving on. Stephanie comes out and addresses the Brock Lesnar situation. She says nobody messes with her family. Paul comes out. We get some ECW chants, and Stephanie says that, she bought ECW from Paul. Thank you, and all that stuff. And then we get CM Punk chants, and they were kind of expecting them to react to CM Punk. They didn't say anything about it, though. But Paul, was talking about when Lesnar won. He beat Orton. Raw ended up beating SmackDown. Brock won SummerSlam for Raw. And that Brock crossed the line, and... Paul was on his knees, told Brock to stop. He didn't. He F5'd Shane, and that he's here to pay Brock's fine of $500 and takes out ones and starts counting them off, as he throws them on the ground. And then Stephanie slaps the ones out of Paul's hands and probably fake money, of course. And Stephanie was talking about how Brock provides value to Raw, but, what does Paul bring to the table? What value does Paul have? And that, there's a storm coming and it's coming towards, Paul's ugly face. And Brock, and he talks about how, his client, Brock Lesnar, is the storm. And that, the apology he's here tonight to deliver goes to Stephanie. And that, we understand, the situation we put you in, the compromised position that Stephanie, must answer to the public directors. And, he goes on about how she's the heir to the throne and stuff like that. And, he offers his apology to Stephanie, and she was like, I accept your apology, and left. I don't know. It was weird. I wasn't really fully invested into this whole thing. So I guess my take of it is that, I don't that's the thing. It was just weird. I can't really try to make sense of this. That, why Stephanie, storyline, kayfabe-wise, whatever you want to call it, character-wise, didn't do something else, and that, she just Paul trapped her. I don't understand how Paul Heyman trapped Stephanie McMahon, in this way where she just gave in to, the $500 fine and apology thing. I don't know, it was weird. Storyline-wise, I couldn't buy into this, it didn't make sense in, in my head, in my world. So yeah, I thought it was a little weird and awkward near the end. I was intrigued. I was like, where are they going to go from that? Where are they going to go from here? I was thinking, is she gonna find them extra heavy or whatever, and then is Brock gonna like quit or something, you know what I mean, or end up on SmackDown somehow? And I was just there, some crazy ideas, that were going through my, where are they gonna go with this? And it ended, and I was like, I'm still kind of lost. Like, you guys, this just seems so weird, and kind of dumb, but I don't know. After this, we get Titus O'Neil, Darren Young, though. They brawl to start off the matchup. Darren ends up knocking Titus out of the ring. Back in the ring, Darren with the swinging neck breaker. And then Titus Irish whipped Darren into the corner, and Darren took a good bump to the floor and then ends up bumping into a cameraman or a photographer or something, breaks the camera. And, Titus comes out the ring, and he looks at the cameraman. He was like, hey, take a picture of this, as he slaps Darren's back and, mean chop. He throws him back into the ring. He throws in, some heel grinded out, rest locks, rest holds. Titus was yelling at Bob Backlund to shut up and sit down. And then out of nowhere, Darren just rolled up Titus for the pin and the win. Darren Young gets the W. And afterwards, Titus was beating down Darren and Bob Backlund. So this whole Raw storyline saga continues, with O'Neil, Young, and Backlund. So I don't know. I'm not really a whole lot invested into it. Kind of sucks that Titus had to just turn heel for this. I don't know. It's different, I guess, but I just don't, I don't know. I'm not crazy about it. Main event time, though. WWE Universal Championship match. Rollins, Owens, and Reigns, and Big Cass. The odd man out. But, damn, crazy fucking match, guys. Crazy match. So, bell rings. Owens bails out of the ring. Roman and Cass beat on Seth. Cass sends Seth out of the ring. Cass and Reigns stare down, and then the other Rollins and Owens come back into the ring, and they brawl for a little bit. During that, Cass had a good chop to Rollins. I liked Cass's suplex to Rollins. Big Cass's big boot, setting Roman and Big Cass out of the ring. Rollins follows that up with the suicide dive to Big Cass, which they started calling it a suicide dive, on commentary. I liked it. Call it what it is. Owens ended up sending Rollins into the barricade. It was like he had him in the fireman's carry and then dropped him headfirst. It was sort of like a fireman's carry, sort of Snake Eyes type deal. But Roman ends up hitting the over-the-top rope dive, the plancha onto Big Cass and Kevin Owens. We get a commercial. We come back. Owens does a tribute to Mick Foley and hits the apron elbow. And then Big Cass ends up hitting a big boot on Kevin Owens, I think. And then... Oh, no. I think Seth Rollins ended up getting involved or something. And then Big Cass made his way over. Regardless, Owens ends up hitting the senton onto Big Cass in the ring. Roman hit his pair of clotheslines onto Seth and KO. Big Cass ends up hitting a big boot on the Roman. Big Cass goes for, his finisher. Was it the sit-out side slam or something? And then Roman ends up countering into this. Or he goes for it on Rollins. Roman hits a Superman punch on Big Cass before he can even attempt it. Rollins ends up sending Reigns into the ring post. Rollins hits a sidekick on Big Cass right after that because he's on the ground. And then Owens climbs up to the top rope and hits the frog splash onto Big Cass for the pin in the win. Or not the pin in the win, for the pin in the elimination. It's an elimination match. Cass ends up getting eliminated. We're down to Owens, Reigns, and Seth. We get a commercial. Before we move on, I got to point out how limited Big Cass is in the ring, and you really saw it here. He knows just about as many moves as Roman Reigns. It's just, with this guy, it's some shoulder tackles, it's big boots, and it's some punches. With Roman Reigns, it's some punches, clotheslines, maybe a kick or something here and there, and a Superman punch. These guys, you saw how limited these two really, really are, in their movesets and their arsenal, what they bring to the table. You really saw all of it tonight with those two, Reigns and Big Cass. I got to point it out. That reasons like that, that's why I'm not a fan of these guys. They don't have to go in there and do flippity flips and stuff, and be 120-pound midgets, that fly around the ring. But it's just their offense is just, they bring nothing to the table. It's just a bunch of clotheslines, punches, and kicks or shoulder tackles, like John Cena. It's fucking boring. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. And on top of that, everything else, I mean, they're on the mic, they don't entertain me. Their promos are boring and corny. In the wrestling, it's just, I don't like watching them in the ring, which is where it counts. And then on top of all of that, their psychology is really not that good. It's not like they're constantly selling or, all of that stuff. These guys, I don't know, dude. It's just a mess. You saw Roman sell a little bit more in this match than usual, I guess. But I mean, still, I don't find them enjoyable. A lot of people don't. For, a number of the reasons I listed and many more reasons, out there. People have their own reasons for liking and disliking people, It's just the way it is. It's preference, it's taste, it's, all that stuff. It's subjective. But we come back from that commercial, though. I had to go on that little rant for a sec. Roman ends up... So Roman hits the powerbomb onto Kevin Owens as he was superplexing Seth Rollins. After that, I liked Seth's Falcon Arrow to Roman Reigns. Seth's Enziguri to Roman. He goes for the springboard knee. Roman hits a Superman punch while Rollins was in midair. He covers him for a 2 count. Seth ends up hitting another Enziguri on Roman. Kevin Owens super kicks Seth Rollins after that. And then that set up Kevin Owens hitting his cannonball to Roman Reigns, a cannonball to Seth, and then he runs back to Roman, and Roman Superman punches him for a 2 count. Roman goes to spear Kevin Owens. He eats a super kick. He goes for the pop-up power bomb, and then Roman Superman punches Kevin Owens. So after that, Seth goes for the pedigree. We get a counter into a roll-up, and then Roman ends up lifting up Seth and then hits a powerbomb for a 2 count. Roman ends up hitting the drive-by kick, and then he runs over to the other side of the ring, and then Superman punches Kevin Owens on the floor. He ends up spearing Rollins on the floor, and then out of fucking left field, Triple fucking H returns since Mania, and he comes out of the crowd and hits a pedigree on Roman freaking Reigns, on Roman Reigns, on this fucking shit factor of pro wrestling. Roman Reigns, he hits the pedigree on him, on the floor, drops his ass, and then he sends Roman in the ring, and then he picks up Rollins and sends him into the ring to pin Roman, and he gets the pin for the 3 count. This was great. Oh my god, this part of the match is where my excitement level went through the fucking roof, guys. My excitement level, tripled once Triple H came out and pedigreed Roman Reigns. I was like, let's fucking go. This was great. So then, afterwards, he picks up Owens and sends him into the ring. He picks Rollins up. Rollins was on the ground in the ring. And then he walks over to Kevin Owens, and Seth sort of kind of follows him, and he was picking up Owens, and then Triple H turns around and hits the fucking pedigree on Seth Rollins. And, he's setting him up for the pedigree. He looks over, nods at Kevin, hits the pedigree. He backs off. Kevin pins Seth Rollins for the win. Kevin Owens is your new WWE Universal Champion. Absolutely incredible. Awesome finish. God. Dude, the whole time, I'm Roman Reigns fucking gets pedigreed. I stood up out of my chair, started throwing middle fingers, I was like, fuck you, Roman. You piece of shit. This is great. And then, with Triple H and Owens now being somewhat at an alliance, that's awesome. That's awesome stuff. In the moment, I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Hunter was the guy, from what we know, fighting for Owens, for all this time, the understanding we have is that Triple H really likes Kevin Owens. And I'm glad, the opportunity, came for that to happen, on this show. Kevin Owens finally being, the WWE Champion, the Universal Champion, whatever you want to call it. That it's fucking way overdue. This is awesome. I'm so happy he's the champion now. Before they went off the air, the crowd loudly chanting, "You deserve it," towards Kevin Owens. You could see the excitement and the emotion in his face. It was absolutely awesome to see, that picture of him finally getting the title. Now, wow. With all of that, so it sucks that Triple H yet again has to get involved some way, somehow. In the main event picture. It kind of sucks, I'm at the point where I just want to see him go. Like everyone else, I totally understand that perspective, and I get that feeling sometimes too. When he came out in Pedigreed Roman, I was like, fuck yes, I love it. I strongly dislike Roman. You all know that. Now, Hunter kind of turned on Rollins. So, maybe we'll get that match down the road. Looking like we're going to get Owens and Rollins for the belt. That's awesome stuff. I'm so excited if that's going to be the main event, okay? I don't want to see Triple H and Stephanie constantly involved, though. It seems like it's going to be, like a Triple H and Kevin Owens versus Stephanie and Rollins sort of thing. Because afterwards, Triple H stared down Mick and left. So, I don't know. I don't want to see that happen, though. I don't want to see Triple H and Stephanie, with these 40-minute promos battling each other. It's garbage. I don't want to see it. It's fucking bullshit. What I want to see is Owens and Rollins battling on the mic, battling in the ring, in the promos, the exchanges, all that stuff. That's what I want to see. So that's my concern with all of that going forward. What I don't want to see happen is probably what's going to happen. But regardless, Owens-Rollins is going to probably be the main event, going forward, the matchup that we see. I'm excited about that. Wow. Overall show rating, 7 out of 10. This was good Raw. I didn't really like, the two jobber matches, the New Day bullshit, but everything else was okay. We got Sheamus and Cesaro. Neville, was doing his shit. Sami Zayn, getting a W. This main event, I enjoyed it, The WWE, gave us a nod, They gave us what we wanted. It seems like we're about to get the same on SmackDown, with Styles, maybe hopefully getting that championship. I feel like he's going to be the guy to get it, at the upcoming event, SmackDown's pay-per-view event, Backlash. So, if Styles is the champ on one show and Kevin Owens is the champ on the other show, what the fuck? This is great. This is awesome. I mean, think of how much an improvement this is from the days where the Great Khali and Jack Swagger and, other, Jamoke guys were champions, on the shows or whatever. This is we are miles, light years away from, those dreadful times. God, they have the talent right now. It's great. The talent is fucking there. It can only get better, And you put these talented guys in the main events, how regardless of how dumb some of these storylines can be, the talent is there to put on good matches. That's what I'm excited for. Owens is the champ. That's awesome stuff. So, wow. Let me know how you guys felt about this Raw. If you agree with Owens being the champ, or if you disagree, maybe you thought someone else should have walked out the champ. How you feel about Triple H finally getting involved, Do we get another Hunter and Roman feud? Do we get Hunter and Seth? There's some options there. I don't know. Not really crazy about Triple H, being 100% involved, but something like this, fuck, let's go. I'm okay with that. Him coming out, and giving his boy Kevin Owens the W, scripted and all, I'm just... Wow. crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. So you guys tell me how you feel. I will talk to you guys on the SmackDown review. Until then, you guys have a good one.